Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video by the Truckee Roundhouse on how to make a face mask. They're quick and they're easy, and it only takes basic sewing. If you know how to sew a straight line, you can make this mask. And if you don't know how to sew a straight line, then reach out to Textiles and sign up for a class, because after one class, you'll be able to easily do this project. So we're gonna end up with a nice little custom mask like this that allows you to get a good fit. Or if you don't have these fancy earbuds, you can make a mask out of jersey pulls, just like this. And before we get started, let's just acknowledge, I know how to sew, I don't know how to video, and I don't know how to edit, so I apologize for any inconsistencies in the product. Enjoy the class. This is actually a pattern of my pattern. I never use my actual pattern because it gets beat up through the process, cut and worked. And so if you really want to keep an accurate pattern, always trace your pattern, and the pattern you're using is a pattern of your pattern. To complete the face mask, you'll need 2 pieces of fabric measuring about 8 inches by 11. You want these fabrics to be different, so when you're using the face mask, you can tell which side is the liner and which side is the outside. You're also going to want that cotton to be high weave for best filtration. You'll need mask ties. You're going to either need the adjustable ear elastics that you can purchase online, or you can make your own jersey ties. And then the third item is a nose piece. You can either use a 3-inch piece of pipe cleaner, or you can also purchase those nose pieces online as well. Gather your supplies and let's start crafting. To prep your fabric for the pattern, if you're working on something small like an 8.5 by 11 piece of fabric, just fold that in half and lay the pattern on the folded edge. I'm working off of fabric from a bolt, so I'm going to fold in half and then fold in half again, making sure the selvage edges meet and everything's nice and tidy before I place down my pattern. Once my fabric is prepped and ready, I'm going to place the pattern on the folded edge and use some clips or weights to hold it down while I cut. Once you cut out both your lining and your face mask, you're going to want to fold right side in and pin. And this is so we can create the nose and chin pleats. Some people might be tempted to skip pinning and ironing, but they're really the finishing touches that make your project look really professional. So take the time. You want to use a 1/4 inch seam allowance on both the nose and the chin pleat. Each machine is different, so check your machine. Your foot will have marks. Make sure you're sewing at a 1/4 inch. You also want to be using a straight stitch set at medium length. Once you've sewn all your pleats, you're going to want to pull your pins. Pair your liner and mask together, right sides facing in, with your seams on the outside. Line up your pleat and pin around the mask as you go until the entire project is pinned and ready to sew. At this point, you're going to want to sew once again with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, the top and the bottom, sewing over the pleats. You do not want to sew the ends yet. Once your mask is sewn, you're going to want to pull your pins and turn your mask right side out. At this point, we're going to want to iron the mask. A lot of people will skip this step, but you're not going to get the clean seams that you want if you don't iron. So just a demonstration, you can see we're really getting close. We're going to do the nose piece and the ear attachments next. Depending on the nose piece you're using, your numbers may be different, but the process for getting those numbers will be the same. My nose piece is 3¼ inches long, so I want a little over 1.5 inches on each side of my nose pleat. I'm going to pin that in place and it's secure for sewing. The nose piece is going to get a lot of pressure, so I lock and reinforce each end as I do the stitching. So I don't break a needle on the metal nose piece. I'm using my foot on the nose piece as a guardrail. With the nose piece in place, we're going to fold the ends a 1/2 inch and then fold again to get a finished edge and iron. You're going to want to repeat this on both sides. We've reached the final step. To attach the elastic straps, we're going to slide a piece of the strap under the folded seam. You're going to want to sew this in place and reinforce the stitch. These ear straps get a lot of abuse when they're being worn. You're going to sew the seam closed, and then you're going to sew the other strap and again reinforce this side as well. Repeat these steps, attaching all the ear straps. The masks that are going to use jersey pulls need to just sew the seam. So you're going to leave the top and the bottom open to thread your jersey through. You're going to want to have prepped that material, so cutting a t-shirt starting at the bottom in 1-inch strips. Your overall length, you want about 20 inches, so you might need to tie 2 pieces of jersey together to get that length. Once you have your jersey prepped, you're going to want to put a pin, a safety pin, through one of the ends. Use that safety pin to weave your jersey through the channel that you created. Use the pin as something to push through and grab so that you can feel yourself pulling your jersey through. Complete the same step on both channels and you're ready to rock and roll. You got a mask. Thank you so much for watching and hope you have a great craft afternoon.